Hey guys, Jaybo785 coming to you today with a new game review. This game is called Risk Factions, which is found on the PlayStation 3 Network game. I am a big fan of Risk and all Risk general games and different variations of that, such as Monopoly 2 with the different variations. And I saw this game online for $10 and I figured, what the hell, I might as well give it a shot. Now, there's some things about this game though which I just absolutely love. I find myself constantly playing this game when I'm bored or when I'm in between tasks. I'll pick my turn, go do my little chore, and come back and take my turn again when I look at the map. And there's certain things about this game which I think that they could have improved on. I hope that they eventually release a newer version of this. I believe that this is a 2010 or 2008 style game. And so let's go ahead and get into the depth of this review. And of course, I hope that you will try to participate in this game, which costs about $10, which is actually cheaper than the board game, and play along with me. So, there are two different styles of maps for this game. There's the classic, worldwide globe, and then there's, of course, new style maps, which have their little different landscapes and areas, and actually have some really nice features. Now, some of my friends on the classic map will play something called Aliens Attack or Zombies or something like that, which they'll, have their dungeon master or whatever roll a dice, and eventually, a volcano, an earthquake, aliens will attack, some type of Sim City type of event will happen, and then it kind of resets everything to a post-apocalyptic landscape. Well, this kind of has that feature built in. Now, I know it's a little bit hard to see, so let's see if I can bring that up. You'll see a little tiny rocket around here. Now, what's nice about this game, what adds a really interesting feature, and can honestly be a little bit of a pain in your ass if you are on the losing side, is if you take certain pieces and landscapes, and you can see how this is cut out in a jigsaw pattern, then you'll gain a special attribute. So in this instance, you can see that the rocket screen, which means that Green Miss Gooter Pants, has control of that. And so what this rocket does is it actually allows you to add a +1 to any of your attack dice rolls, which, of course, will give you the benefit of the doubt. As you all know, anybody that's played Risk, and I ask you to, of course, review yourself on the rules before you go any further in this review, the defending dice, if it's a tie, will always win. So if you roll 3 6s and you're attacking, which is an amazing, the highest roll you can get, and if your defender rolls 2 6s, you, of course, lose. So in that case, if you have that rocket on your side, it's like rolling all 7s, and that gives you the benefit of the doubt. So, some other nice features about this game is there are conquest objectives. Now, what I mean by that is in Risk Fractions, if you go to the World Domination menu, it's basically whoever takes over the entire map wins. But to add some fun to that, you now have something called capitals. So each color can place a capital on one of their spots, and that gives them a +1 to their reserves each round, okay? And if you take over another color's capital, then you get another reserve in case, and they don't get that reserve, so it's like a +1 to you, plus minus to one of them, so it's a 2 net objective, okay? Well, on top of that, there are certain ones that say if you take over all of one continent, then you'll get a special perk, My two favorite perks are a defense die and an attack die, which actually gets you one more die to roll, okay? So, rather than rolling 3 die when you're attacking as your max, it now allows you to roll 4 die, which is, of course, almost like a 25% bonus. And for the defense die, rather than just rolling 2 die, it lets you roll 3 die, okay? And, of course, it goes with your best 2 on each one. So, as you can see, that can be a huge game changer. And on top of that, there's also things called airports or air bases, which then gives a +1 each of your dice rolls. So if you have one of those, on top of a defense dice, you can see how that really starts to add up. There are other ones that are easier to get. Those are usually the hardest ones to get, which says you have to control like 2 complete continents, or you have to, control, you have to take over 10 territories in one turn, stuff like that. But there are easier ones, too, that say you get an additional move at the very beginning or you get an additional move at the very end. So I know one thing I'll do is I'll surround my borders at the very beginning. So, like, I'll have 5, 5, 5, and then when I get to attack, I could really use those additional 5, having 10 total. And that allows me to move there. or at the very end, if I've spaced myself too far out, then it gives me an additional move back. So, get on there, check that out. That's actually a really nice feature of this game. That being said, one of the things that's kind of a downer is this game is strictly based on mathematical formulas. So there are times where I'll have 50 pieces on one spot and I'm attacking on one space, and I'll roll all sixes, okay? And then there are other times where I'll have 50 people on one space and I'm attacking a two spot, and I'll lose like 25 pieces. Now, I know that that does happen in the real life game of Risk, but what's different about this is you can actually check your statistics on dice rolls. So if you're like, oh, I'm just unlucky, I'm just unlucky, I'm just unlucky, which I honestly am, you can see that it actually does average out. So you'll roll an even amount of ones to an even amount of sixes, an even amount of twos to an even amount of fives, which is kind of nice. In the same sense, it sucks because if I know I found myself in countless situations where I'll have like 8 pieces here, and they'll have 9 pieces here, and they'll attack me and then win. And that's just bullshit. The math doesn't necessarily add up on that, but the dice statistics of evening out those odds does. In the same sense, I know I'll have 10 pieces here, and I'll have 2 pieces there, I'll attack them, and I'll lose. So let's go ahead and move on and talk a little bit more about some fun things about the game. There actually is some really nice animations about this game that you can tell that they spent a lot of time on. They did an excellent job on the voices of it, the voice acting of this. Now, of course, I don't know how many actors they actually use, but you take like Don Costella, who does the voice of Homer Simpson, who has a huge range. You got Mr. McGruderpounce, General Mao, which is kind of a playoff of North Korea. Excellent, hysterical, yes, slightly predictable, but you still can get a chuckle or two out of them, and that's honestly worth the $10 in itself. They have zombies, cats, robots, oh god, they have yetis, and I'm sure I'm forgetting one more color, but it's pretty good. And another nice thing about this is anybody who's played a game of Risk, you know that half of the weight is simply rolling dice, reading them out, moving one little itty piece each time, and that really speeds it up. So you can play 5 or 6 games in one sitting compared to one normal length game, which that's really nice. That speeds things up. You can do quick play menu, which is usually what I do, which just does all the mathematical formulas and then moves the pieces as follows. Or you can do slow play, which you can actually roll the individual dice by themselves. Each dice has its own customized looks. You can see that the cat one has like hairballs. It's, of course, green and yellow for the military one. You can see here, General McGruderpants, if he rolls 3 6-sided dice, you then get a special attack. Your controller will rumble, showing and letting you know that you've gotten an uber attack. And as you can see here, a nuclear bomb goes off. Anything less, it's just them firing guns. A stronger attack would be somebody throwing a grenade. And of course, each character has its own customized animation. You can see here this little orange die here. Sorry, I'm colorblind. That is, of course, the rocket going off, or that's the attack die or the defense die. So, you'll get that, or for the Air Force base, you'll have the little airplane symbol, and, of course, a +1 on certain of your dice. So, guys, that pretty much concludes the summary and the review of Risk Factions. A few other nitpicky things is, I'm sure this game was pretty popular when it first came out. Unfortunately, I got to it about 2 years after its initial release. You can still play online mode. The problem with that is a lot of the people, if rather than toughing it out and losing like a good player, they'll quit as soon as they start to get that slide. They're not willing to take that risk. Playing against real life players and computers in that sense is that sometimes the computers will do completely asinine things. And that can be in the sense that they won't take over the last little piece to get the bonus of the continent, or they'll go just straight after you for no fucking real reason. And that being said, a lot of real life players can't handle the swings of that. No one wants to sit there for 3-4 hours and lose because the computer system is being a jackass. So that's one little nitpicky thing. There are some nice things. There's like 30 or 40 different maps, each with different star objective ratings. So that's kind of nice. I actually completed them all, which of course gives you like a platinum trophy if you're on the PlayStation or, an Xbox achievement point of whatever. So, if you're a hardcore Risk fan and if you're looking for something to kill, that can actually last you quite a while. You play one game a night, you got a month worth of entertainment for just a $10. What else? That pretty much sums it up. It's one of those things, if you really want to get into it, you're just going to have to go ahead and purchase the game and give it a shot. And really, if you like Risk, it is definitely worth the $10. If you don't like Risk, you're going to fucking hate it. So guys, I hope that I piqued your interest. I hope that you found this review, entertaining. I hope that you found this review useful. You can, of course, always get on GameFAQs, which is one of my favorite sites. There is a frequently asked questions strategy guide, which I don't really know why you need it, but it's there. As far as the cheats go, it just tells you what achievements are unlocked by getting X amount of trophies and so on and so forth. So guys, if you have any questions or concerns, please post them in the comment section below. I'll do my best to answer those in a timely fashion. Thank you very much. This is Jaybo785 signing off.